What if I told you that a restaurant on the corner can capture the essence of the UVA spirit? People sometimes have a hard time expressing the exact essence of UVA in so many words, so perhaps an analogy here could help show it instead. But even so, UVA is pretty complex. Mere food and fauna can't really demonstrate what UVA is all about. We work hard here, but we also play hard too. We have an honor code that holds us to a high standard, and UVA changes with the times, yet it still keeps its local Charlottesville charm. And for a university where staying relevant is so important, UVA does an excellent job of preserving its rich history and revering its traditions too. That's a lot for a restaurant to measure up to. Mr. Jefferson, when he founded UVA in 1819, gifted us with a unique identity, unlike any other place. He gave us an academic village where students and professors could work hard together. He gave us a strong moral code to live and learn by, creating a unique culture and traditions to preserve. UVA, not unlike the many restaurants on the corner, has had its share of ups and downs. Disputes between students and faculty, no bathrooms in the lawn rooms, struggling sports teams, etc. However, these roller coaster times are what have made UVA into what it is today. Work hard and play hard, with traditions like streaking the lawn and dressing up for football games. Restaurants are no different. If we're going to say that a restaurant is comparable to UVA, then it's going to have to follow certain criteria to match up. UVA is all about its history and tradition, and Mr. Jefferson worked hard to create that, one that's evolved over the years to become even more special today. Can a restaurant really mimic that? So 3 criteria. It's got to have intriguing history, rich tradition, both old and new, and lots of late nights spent studying, partying, or a little bit of both. One little place on the corner can't possibly encompass all that. Maybe not entirely, but if you had to choose one eating establishment that parallels UVA's history to its tradition to the late night culture, which one would you pick? The White Spot, although not the most obvious answer at first, upon closer inspection actually fits the bill fairly well. The White Spot's got all the right ingredients. Its own unique story, it's been a UVA go-to for generations, and it caters to the picture-perfect late night at UVA. A little business, a lot of fun, and maybe a touch of sleaze too. History. Paul Dunsmore had a dream of opening a diner. His chance came in 1953 when the university beauty salon moved elsewhere. As he was painting the walls of his new place white, he noticed a huge stain on the floor where one of the beauty salon chairs had been before. Instead of buying new flooring, he simply leaned down and painted the spot white, and thus the White Spot was born. A little extra protein would be perfect. In the early 1960s, a university doctor who was a White Spot regular would order his hamburger with an egg on top. Others began to take notice and started ordering the same thing. The item became so popular they named the greasy mess after the doctor. His name? Gus. Even after 60 years, the White Spot, home of the famous, or perhaps more aptly, infamous Gus Burger, has stood the test of time. A 1968 UVA graduate himself, Rick S., speaks fondly of the White Spot, calling it the go-to 24-hour corner diner for students needing late-night eats then, and it's still the same today. White Spot's got deep roots in UVA history. But what about the Virginian? It's been around since 1923 and is actually the oldest restaurant in Charlottesville. No doubt it's got a rich history and tradition of its own. However, not many would dub the Virginian as the classic place for a midnight studying snack or as a usual pit stop after a big night on rugby. History and tradition, yes. Late-night university culture, not quite. Tradition. Whether half-drunk from rugby or just a midnight hankering for some greasy goodness, the White Spot and its Gus Burger has always been a late-night tradition for generations of UVA students. When UVA alum, parents, and grandparents come back to Seville, they don't want Qdoba or dumplings. They want to take a bite into nostalgia. They want tradition. In fact, Gus Burger has become such a mainstay that almost every UVA bucket list mandates students pay their respects to the Gus Burger at least once. New traditions arise, but the best ones never change. Since the early 60s, UVA students have kept coming back to sink their teeth into this greasy goodness. Tradition at the White Spot doesn't graduate. But what about Little John's, though? It's quickly becoming a late-night tradition, too. It's cheap, fast, open 24 hours, and it's a staple for the late-night library and rugby traffic. True, but Little John's simply doesn't have the history nor the charm that the White Spot does. If Little John's wants to fully represent UVA, it needs to have a few more years under its belt. Culture. As I mentioned before, the White Spot's always been one of the favorite places to go, whether students are taking a break from working hard at the library or wandering back from playing hard on rugby. It continues to be a historic late-night tradition that's been a center of student life and activity for as long as it's been a part of Mr. Jefferson's University. UVA students, they work hard, and having stuck around for 60 years now, the White Spot knows a thing or two about hard work and lasting success as well. It has a winning formula proven to produce, and it's got something special to offer. Coupled with a drive to thrive, the White Spot continues to be one of the staples on the corner, as well as a living example of UVA ingenuity and hard work. We also play hard too, though. Gus Burgers are the food most reflective of UVA party culture, second-year John Torrey says in a Cal Daily article. The blend of substantial protein is perfectly complemented by the strong flavor of condiments. It's this ideal blend of seriousness and fun inside a fluffy, protective bun that makes this sloppy 2 a.m. meal a glorious UVA tradition. Unfortunately, Trinity Pub and Boylan Heights also fall in the same category as Little John's. Up-and-coming traditions, undisputed late-night hangouts, and very much a result of the UVA work-hard, play-hard culture. Unfortunately, if they don't have all the criteria, tradition, atmosphere indicative of the culture, and a rich history, simply is not going to give UVA its full justice. Humble beginnings, hard work and perseverance, a bit of innovation, and a whole lot of perspiration. History, tradition, and a culture unique only to Charlottesville. All of these adjectives describe UVA, but the same could be said of the White Spot and its place in UVA's storied history as well as in the university's promising future. So the combination of a hometown story, a long-time local tradition, and a true embodiment of the UVA work-hard, play-hard culture makes the White Spot hard to beat. Maybe the White Spot stood the test of time because it so represents UVA well and the ideas we've all come to hold dear. Maybe we could even say the White Spot is a microcosm of UVA, only not quite as pretty or clean.